The Rakaia River is the largest river in Canterbury and is fed from glaciers in the Southern Alps. The river is very wide and is known as a braided river because it spreads out through many interlacing channels. Like other Canterbury rivers, the Rakaia has carried down silt and gravel from the mountains over thousands of years and helped to create the Canterbury Plains. Māori are known to have used the Rakaia River. It led to a pass which was a major route to supplies of the treasured pounamu or greenstone on the South Island's west coast. It is believed that the Rakaia River got its name, which means to arrange in ranks, from people holding hands in chains to allow them to cross the river on the way up the valley. Early European settlers called the river Chumley, but the name never caught on. They too had trouble crossing the Rakaia. Drowning in rivers was so common in the early days that it was known as the New Zealand Death. Travellers were known to have waited for weeks before the river had dropped to allow them to cross. Eventually a ferry service was created, and then, in 1873, the river was bridged. That did not necessarily allay the fears of travellers, because the new bridge was a scary structure, a narrow timber causeway that carried both rail and road traffic. Its replacement, the current bridge, was built in 1939. The Rakaia Bridge is the longest in New Zealand, at almost 1.8 kilometres. Several generations of Canterbury children have challenged themselves to hold their breaths while the car they are in is crossing the bridge. It is hard to miss the giant salmon statue in Rakaia Township. Chinook salmon were introduced into the Rakaia River from California in the early 1900s. New Zealand remains the only place in the world where the species has successfully established itself outside its native habitat. The Chinook salmon is a large fish, weighing up to 15 kilograms and providing a big challenge for anglers. The fish spawn upriver, and then the young ones spend 3 months heading towards the sea. After 3 years in the ocean, they return to swim back up in runs, and this is when the anglers get excited. They flock to their favourite spots, such as the settlement at the mouth of the river known as Rakaia Huts. About a third of the returning fish are caught, and once they spawn, the adult fish die. The vast irrigation systems developed for the region's farming has threatened salmon stocks, and now the irrigation has been regulated. It is hoped that as a result, the salmon will continue to thrive and entice enthusiastic anglers back to the river. It is not only on the Rakaia that salmon are threatened. They are now severely depleted in their native Californian rivers too. In 2010, in the hope that the fish would return, a delegation of Native American Winnemem people visited the Rakaia River and apologized to the salmon in a series of traditional ceremonies. They invited the fish back home. With the spiritual aspect completed, salmon ova were then sent back to California to be re-established in their native environment.